Hey guys, what's up? It's Looney TNT. So, today's video is a story of a casual gamer, of a casual World of Warcraft player, and how I feel things should change in World of Warcraft. Not from an elitist perspective or someone that's, 2700 rating in PvP, but someone that is just super casual, loves the game, not very good at the game, but enjoys it enough to continue playing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a flight path in the old world all the way to the end, and we're going to discuss this. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy my story of World of Warcraft. So I started World of Warcraft back in the Burning Crusade. Probably like a lot of you guys, had a friend that played the game and thought, hey man, you should try this. So I started a Tauren warrior, the warrior that I'm on currently. And I did not like the game when I first started it. It took me about 10 minutes to learn how to loot. I killed the monster and I had no idea how to loot. The games that I played, when you killed something, something dropped and you ran over it, or you clicked the body and it automatically went into your inventory. I didn't understand the whole looting aspect. So I was noob from the beginning, and I'm still noob today. But something was there for me in the game, and something that I really enjoyed. It was the first ever action bar that I actually had to deal with, and it was fun. I started to play it. I really enjoyed it. And my journey started from there. My first giant milestone was hitting level 40 to get my very first mount. Because back then, you needed level 40 before you can achieve that first mount. And it was such a great feeling to achieve the mount. I worked super hard for it. There was nothing that I did that I didn't think about getting a mount, running everywhere as a warrior, killing and getting that stuff done. Around level 40, I also did my Berserker quest to get my to go to that island and get my my Berserker stance, and I got my axe, and I couldn't do it till level 40 because I sucked, so I had to wait till that later on in those levels. But I finally achieved it, and it was such a great feeling. I worked all the way from a low-level noob to thinking that I was amazing. And at this time, I was actually using the arrow keys on the keyboard and the mouse. I just not a Naga or anything. It was just a regular 2-button mouse. So I was using the arrow keys, not the WS, and things like that. It was just the arrow keys. So it was super awkward, and I sucked really bad, and people enjoyed fighting me in PvP. So, the next milestone was my epic mount at level 60. I worked really hard to get my epic mount. I did a lot of PvP so I can achieve the mounts that I could buy. And I'll tell you what, guys, PvP was so much fun, but I sucked so bad. And I remember the first grind for PvP gear was when I was trying to get the rated items. And like, PvP was a lot different back then once I reached max level at 70, because max level was 70 for me. And the grind was incredible because back then you started at 1500, and usually I dropped my rating really fast because I sucked. I would get someone that I knew, and I'd say, hey, let's PvP. So I would go buy the team contract thing to start your contract, and we'd make a 2s team, and we'd lose 10 games, but we got our 10 games in. So because we got our 10 games in, at the start of next week, it would calculate it to give you your points to be able to buy your gear. But certain gear had certain requirements, so it was a grind. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun trying to grind it out for my PvP. But I found out that I sucked really bad at PvP. So I thought, let's raid. Let's get into some raiding. So I try to raid. And I find out real quick that my gear sucks if I'm going to try to be a tank. So I was told that I need to do heroic dungeons. That was okay. I did heroic ramps every single day because that's the only heroic that I felt comfortable doing. Because that's the only dungeon that I really knew how to do was ramps. So anytime a ramps group would come up, I'd find a couple people in trade chat. We'd all group up. We'd run out there and we'd do ramps. And that's the only one I ever did at that point. And then I finally found a raiding team that would accept me into to being a tank for Karazhan, for Kara. The best experience that I've ever had raiding was those first few weeks where, you know, my hands were sweaty. I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. I go in there, and this is a 10-man raid group. You know, I'm used to 5, and I'm like, we got 10 people. All right, we got another tank. We got a few healers here. Let's do this. So I'm trying to keep threat, and I'm doing horrible because taunt did not work back then. So I'm trying to keep threat with crappy gear, but the team's very nice, and they told me it was okay to learn, and I finally started getting some gear. Now at this point, I thought 10-man was the raid. You know, I thought 10-man was, alright, we just need 10-man, boom, we're good to go. Well, that wasn't the case. 25-man Gruul's Lair. 25 mag. I was shocked to think that there is a raid that you need 25 people. Now, when you think about it, there was 40 in vanilla. But as a newer player, 25 was just so many people. So I thought these bosses must be crazy, and they were. The 25-man experience was such a fun time, having all these people around you, having all these things. You know, we had a mage tank, we had a lock charming the demon. We had all these things happening in Gruul's Lair that we all had to work together, and I think I was just flying in water just then, but that's okay. And it was such a fun fight. I remember going into Gruul's, and I always would have to be the off tank to take the second aggro because I could never do the first aggro, and because I only had a blue mace. But I would work hard, and I learned and learned and learned. And once I started finding out there's these other raids that are even tougher, I strived to get better. But that's as far as I got. I got to Mags, and I got to Gruul's, and I got to Kara. I full cleared those 3. And Wrath of the Lich King was about to come out, but I felt that I achieved something. I felt that I worked hard, and I did my best to get better, and I did my best to get gear. Unfortunately, I just was never able to progress in that expansion, which I was okay with. Wrath of the Lich King, I told myself, okay, I'm gonna work hard. I'm going to do it as best as I can. I'm gonna get these. I'm gonna get the gear. We're gonna go as a team. We're going to work hard, and I'm going to be able to kill these monsters. When Wrath of the Lich King comes out, my guild disbands. They're no longer there. So what I do is I start my own guild. The noob me starts my own guild, knowing nothing. But I thought, alright, if I'm a guild leader, I can find some people, we can do this. So I find some people, and we start doing 10-man Nax. And Naxxramas was so much fun for me. For some players, because it was an old raid that it didn't live up to their expectations and things like that. For me personally, it was a super fun raid. But raids have changed. Raids are now 10-man or 25-man. And I knew the 25-man loot was better, but 10-man was my content that I wanted to do. I thought I could run a 10-man guild. I didn't think I was capable of running a 25-man guild. So 10-man is what we ran. We did good. We actually full cleared everything, but I wasn't guild leader anymore because I joined a different guild. So that's why we cleared everything. I started out thinking, okay, I can do this, and then I figured out real quick, no, you can't. So I joined a different guild, and we full cleared everything, and we even got into 25-man progression, and we full cleared that also. Now here comes Ulduar, and I apologize if I pronounce any of these wrong, but now we're on Ulduar, and Ulduar is a whole different beast. Probably one of the funnest raids during like progression that I've did, because it was so crazy to me that we could push it into a heroic mode or a hard mode by just doing different things in the fight. And the guy where you have to kill his heart. If you kill the heart, you actually push him into heroic mode. And there were so many cool things like that with the raid, and unfortunately I never got to full clear that. But it was just the fact that it was a great raid, and I really enjoyed it, and I would run it on 10 and 25 every week. So here comes the next raid. So I keep pushing hard, keep pushing hard. Let's skip all the way to Lich King. The story during Lich King kept me entertained, kept me driven to continue, because my goal was, I need to kill the Lich King. I was not able to even see Illidan. I want to see Lich King. I want to fight this guy. So I worked hard and I got my gear, even though it was a struggle getting gear and I wasn't the best. I would Valor cap every week, I believe is what it was at the time, your Valor cap. And I would work hard. And we finally got into the Lich King, and my guild disbanded, and I created my own guild again. I knew a little bit more then, so we had a team, and we did really, really good. And we fought every single week, over and over and over, wipe after wipe. And at the end of the expansion, we killed every boss. We killed every boss except the Lich King. I never got to kill the Lich King. And it really sucked, and I was really depressed about that. I worked so hard to get to that point, but the raid encounter was the raid encounter. I could not kill it, and my team could not kill it, and that's just the way it was. There was no sugarcoating it. We couldn't get the job done. Cataclysm comes out. I don't play Cataclysm very much. Cataclysm wasn't my thing. I played it a lot in the end, but Mist of Pandaria was coming out. So Mop was coming out. I was like, okay, let's go, you know. I killed Deathwing, but I killed him on Raid Finder, and I was like, whatever. I need to kill Garrosh, or Hellscream. I need to kill Hellscream, right? I go through Mop, and Mop was fun. I was a way better player then, and I actually achieved a normal kill on Hellscream, and I was super excited. We are now in WoD. We're in Warlords of Draenor, and I skipped over a lot of little details in my path. But the main reason that what I'm trying to get at after my long story is, throughout it all, as a casual player, not an elitist, as a casual player, the thing that kept me going was getting that next set of gear, knowing it was there, and not giving it. They didn't just hand things out. Wrath of the Lich King, it was a little bit easier to achieve items, but I still worked for it. I still did my Valor caps every week. There was still a reason to log on. I was always asking guildies, hey man, where were you Tuesday? Did you get your Valor cap? You got to try to make sure to get on, guys. If you can, try to log on every day, even if it's just to run that one heroic, get your Valor cap. So we're encouraging each other to continue to strive to get what we need. Warlords of Draenor, or WoD, is kind of the complete opposite. There is no reason to strive to get on every day, or to tell your guildies to get on every day. The content is it's so crazy. We have so many different raids for the same raid. We have Raid Finder, we have normal mode, we have mythic mode, we have heroic mode. There's all these different modes for the same gear. I miss the fact that a raid was a raid. If you're doing Gruuls, Gruuls was Gruuls. There was no heroic Gruuls. Hey man, this is 25 man. If you can't hang and you can't kill it, you don't get loot. If you want loot, learn the fight, get a team, and do it. That's what excited me about raiding, was the fact that it was the encounter. There's no getting around it. If I said I killed Illidan, I did. It wasn't, was it Raid Finder? Well, what mode was it? It was, you killed it. It was what it was. Lich King, the story was amazing. WoD, what story? I don't know what story. I don't even know who the last boss is. I'm sure some of you guys know, but I have no idea. I don't know what story we're in. I don't know what's going down with anything. As a casual player, I feel things are given too easily. This isn't elitist talking. This is a casual player. I'm given gear too easy. I'm able to get up to a max item level super quick. People are selling carries for everything. It's not a nostalgia thing. I think World of Warcraft was just better back in the day. And how to fix it is just by looking at what you guys used to do. Alright guys. Thanks for listening. And that's my World of Warcraft story.